What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So 2021, or should I say Marvel's Avengers in 2021, what is going to happen? Now, since yesterday that I posted in my community tab regarding the game's narrative designer teasing basically 2021, we got a lot of stuff to talk about, especially coming from Game Rant, who do have an article on this, so we got some interesting things to cover. Now, what I want you guys to do though is get in the comments below and let me know what you expect this year to basically consist of with Marvel's Avengers. How many heroes, how many DLC regions should I say as well? Let me know all of your thoughts and theories in the comments below, and if we can try and get 6 likes and click that big red subscribe button below, that would be absolutely incredible. Now, just to bring you up to speed, right, if you didn't see what I posted in my community tab yesterday, it was the game narrative designer, well, game designer and narrative designer for Marvel's Avengers said that 2021 is going to be, and then of course the fire emoji. Now, this is clearly teasing this year as a whole. I know a lot of people did say, well, this isn't actually teasing nothing at all. Well, we are all expecting the plug to be pulled on this game this year, right? And when I say majority of us, it's majority of us that don't want the plug to be pulled, but we are kind of expecting that by this time next year, right? Long story short, if it's going to go south, that's where we're going to be next year at this moment in time. Now, that also being said, the reason why this teases it is because it's basically the make it or break it year for this game. So let's talk about what we are going to expect in this game in 2021 on top of that, with that teaser or indication, I guess you could say. So the article does come from Game Rant. I'm going to link the original one in the description below, but I made up some pretty interesting theories, but also actual facts that we know of so far with the game. So for example, it says that players can expect more heroes to make their debut in the game. We've already had concept art of War Machine, which has already been leaked. Then we have Spider-Man and Black Panther, who are officially confirmed to of course come to the game this year. We're talking the first quarter as well. Now, they continue to say, while it's still unclear what villain the PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man DLC will include, and again, that's still a big thing to take into consideration, that Spider-Man's already a big character, but unfortunately he's going to be exclusive to Sony users. So that also, you know, taken into consideration, I don't know, it's kind of like a pro for PlayStation because the game went south already in terms of sales, so to them it's almost like an opportunity to revive their profits, or not even profits, their investment in this game as a whole as well. But again, we'll see more sales and actual figures when that does happen. Now, what it does say is that Spider-Man's gallery, as far as it goes for villains, is just packed with full iconic antagonists, right? Many of which work very well actually with the Avengers level threats. Now, with Black Panther, it can be expected that he'll do a battle with Killmonger or Claw, which are of course his most iconic villains. Now, what's interesting here, and a slight little spoiler ahead, but Miller did say not too long ago that Claw essentially is going to be the villain that will be coming with Black Panther. Now again, we can only take Miller's word on that, but he doesn't just come out with these ideas out of thin air, right? These are with some sort of data in place or whatever it may be, so that's why we're still kind of sticking with Miller's perspective on that. So Black Panther's DLC is going to come with the Wakanda update and location, should I say, alongside with Claw being the iconic villain in this situation. Now, it does say with every hero and villain added to the game, Marvel's Avengers becomes a deeper and more content heavy game, all for free, making it a solid place for Crystal Dynamics to start. Now, although it's not really a start, it's actually more of an opportunity to just revive the game as a whole, but nonetheless, it's definitely off to a good start with these specific characters, and again, I'm talking Black Panther and of course Spider-Man. Now, the article continues to say, while the addition of a new region is a positive thing, Wakanda will likely feel like a palette swap as opposed to meaningful steps forward if the game's missions do not see some changes. Now again, we've already been in a situation where we have games that are essentially like reclones of other maps and whatever, right? Just simply a new location, but ultimately still the same purpose. Now, the community's feedback already are heavily against this, so if Crystal Dynamics are still listening to that, then they know that there's basically no point throwing in a Wakanda location if we're just going to have the same repetitive style missions. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. However, the bright side or pro to that simply is a new location, but again, that is just a very small starting point. So ultimately they need to come in with new missions. So that's that with Black Panther's DLC as a whole. Now they continue to say that different vault types could come to Marvel's Avengers, with the game's war zones potentially pulling from the Destiny series to introduce random events into the missions for more variety. Now it says that the thing that fans of the game should also be anticipating is a major attempt at special events, because every other games as a service title has at least attempted to do this, even if it hasn't succeeded. And we already know that these were actually going to be things that we should have been able to experience already, and they've already missed out two big moments, right? Halloween and of course Christmas. They could have even tied in Thanksgiving involved in that as well, so that was an opportunity missed. But the pure reason as to why it was coming from the devs themselves is that it's still something they're going to be working on, but it's not really something that was their priority as of towards the end of last year. So now, going on the basis that everything's kind of on track, then we should definitely be expecting this. Now, the idea of limited time events as well, with other embracing them as a key source of post-launch content, as such it can be expected that Marvel's Avengers takes notes from the best events in gaming to produce some memorable themed content next year. Now, as far as games go, as far as 2020 as well, that absolutely nailed the event situation is without a doubt Fortnite. They've done an incredible job with these events, and ultimately it brought in so many brand new players and just players back to the game as well that maybe just basically packed it in halfway through. So that already is just evidence right there that yes, the gameplay is fun, but doesn't necessarily need to be anything special if the event is special itself, if that makes sense. So again, if you were a game developer and you had to look at your peers, that would definitely be a game to take a look at. Now, the final statement that Game Rant made, which I think was good, is stating that more events could see other comic book storylines adapted, such as a Civil War and Secret Invasion. Crystal Dynamics events could also take a page out of Blizzard's book, introducing special brawls like Overwatch has, giving players limited time modes that fit in the events theme, such as a boss fight with Hydra Cap or a 4v4 Civil War, like a battle against an AI controller team of heroes. And Marvel's Avengers could revive the community through a combination of unique events and story-based DLC. Now, that last part, story-based DLC, that clearly is the direction we're heading to. So again, it's not really a grey area, because it's definitely something that is going to be going down in this year. It just ultimately comes down to the question of, are we talking the first quarter, second quarter, or right towards the end of the year? When is it going to happen? Now, of course, technically the team are back in the office, or back at work, should I say, as a whole from next week. So we should basically have loads of information just rolling out there. But again, we'll just have to see where we stand with that basically next week. But guys, that's going to wrap up this one here. As always, subscribe for more awesome content if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. Till then, have yourselves a ridiculously amazing day. And adios amigos.